Snowball. I'm gonna go over the Cliffside Fractal as a guardian. Should have hammer, sword focus for the first arch, the finder fight. You want to have retreat, bane signet. I use printing flames to stack might usually. Nothing really else good to use. You want to dodge his spin. It hits multiple times usually, so Aegis won't protect you there. You want to keep Aegis up as much as possible and try to save it for his auto attack since it's really hard to dodge. You can just dodge when he does his hammer bash. You want to try to avoid the red circles unless there's just tons of them all around them, just to keep your Aegis so you don't have to dodge, or you can just avoid getting hit by the auto attack. If you need more dodges, you're out. You can just use renewed focus or shelter or shield of wrath. You'll be safe. You can use unscathed contender and powerful blade traits for this fight. Just make sure you change them out afterwards, since you won't be reflecting things because wall and shield are really unreliable for a spin. You just want Mesmer to use feedback instead if you have one. And this is just a quick trash mob. Nothing really to note. You just want to drop the hammer, which are around 40 stacks, or you'll go down. And once someone gets a charge, you want to have them go to the middle in between the seals and hit both seals like our Mesmer just did. And you just want to get the rest of the charges and break the seals after that. Then you run to the next seal. You'll have the wind traps that'll push you off. You can just stand your ground for stability and run right through them. You can also use Aegis to run right through them or just dodge through them. And then you want to swap your sword focus to greatsword, and you want to wall and retreat. Use retreat as soon as you start running in case you get hit by the fire circles. You want to run to this fire pit here so you can line of sight all the vets that spawn from the start. Use ring of warding when they come. Once you get a bunch of vets come, use virtue of justice. Just keep spamming it. Then once they're dead, you can grab the hammer and then go to the safe spot in the middle where you can stack, and I guess stacking's an exploit, so you should feel bad. And if there's anybody shooting at you with a bow, you just want to use your wall. And if the mobs are just away from you and there's none to hit next to you for a charge, you want to swap the greatsword and use binding blades. Mesmer focus pulls even better. And it's great to have a thief in your group for this fractal, as well as many others. Thief should just be spamming pistol 5 for permanent blind on all the targets. So you can see we're not even like getting hit because of that. You should still keep spamming your virtue of justice whenever it comes back up and there's mobs around you though. Your warrior should have axe mace, axe warhorn for this and all the other trash mobs that hit hard. Just put weakness on them because it's really overpowered for fractals. And just use tremor whenever it's up and there's a bunch of mobs around you. There's not much else to say about this fight. You just break the seal eventually. Just keep spamming retreat. Use your virtues up. And then you want to run to the next seals. And you want retreat, wall, Purging Flames, Hammer Greatsword. And if you have a Mesmer in your group, it's great because you can do a portal trick, which you'll see here. If not, you'll have to line of sight the mobs with the staff to pull them and use line of warding and ring of warding and just wall and blind spam. Purging Flames if you need to clear Vuln. But when you get here, you hit the seal, Mesmer drops a portal here, and then you run to the other side. And then you kill the last chanter here, you hit the seal, and then you drop the hammer for the Mesmer to pick up. And then you Binding Blades the groups together and put wall up. Mesmer picks it up, gets a charge, portals to the other side, hits it, gets another charge here, and hits this seal, and this seal is completely done. And then, if you did this fast enough like we did, you'd only need to kill the one chanter that's left over there and hit the seal once more, and that seal is over too. So you save a lot of time by using the little portal trick here. And then you want to run up past the traps to the second Arch Definer fight. And the best thing to do as a Guardian is put on a set of Knight's Armor, and the rest of your gear should be full Zerk. If your team's all Zerk, then Arch Diviner should pretty much stay on you the whole fight. You'll have aggro. And you want to kill the chanters, line of sight them behind the fire pit. Once you go past the fire pit, you'll get stunned. And stack might before you start fighting them. And the great thing about Knight's Armor is that he'll be on you the whole time. You're the best situated to deal with him. With all the blocks you have, you can see I'm just spamming Aegis every time he hits me. My team's just attacking him, behind him safely, doing optimal DPS. The amount of damage they can do by just standing there and doing their DPS rotation safely, and will more than make up for the small loss of damage you'll get from wearing Knight's Armor. Another good thing about the Knight's Armor is if you get hit by an auto attack, you'll actually survive it, in case you messed up. And once you hit the seal, you want to be the first one to attack him again. You want to try to keep your Aegis, so you'll want to try to avoid the red circles if possible. But if you're at Aegis and you can't avoid them, you can just swap to Sword Focus, use Shield of Wrath. You can use Shelter, you can use Renewed Focus. And once the chanters spawn, it's good to group them up at the center. And if you have a Mesmer in the group, you can do that with the Mesmer. Just makes it go quicker so the Fanatics don't spawn. If you don't have a Mesmer, you can just go around in a circle and kill them all together. You want to spread out so your whole team doesn't get screwed like our Mesmer did here. And this is his last phase where he does Agony. He does the pull that you saw their Mesmer go down by. Before he does the Agony, so you'll know when he'll do it, he gets protection afterwards, and he'll reflect all your projectiles while he has protection on. And you want to do the same thing, but you want to keep up wall and shield, and just cycle through your blocks. Let your team attack behind them safely. And you want to keep up reflex because the Devours he summons strips your Aegis. The only annoying part is that you're most likely going to be the one who gets caged. And if you're not wearing Knight's gear or he's on somebody else, the person who has aggro should be just walking backwards, trying to stay in max melee range to hit him. If person who he's on is not comfortable with staying in max melee range, they can just stay at somewhat close range to him, but nowhere near where he can actually hit him. And he'll just follow that person and not do much at all. Everybody else can just keep attacking behind him, following him. But if you do that, you should have your group use their chills and cripple skills to keep them slow, so your team can just train on them behind them. And his projectile that he does can be reflected. Does a decent amount of damage. You want to dodge his hammer bash. It's the one hit, and it's pretty easy to avoid. You mostly want to keep up Aegis for his auto attacks, which are harder to dodge. You can cycle through your blocks again if you're out of Aegis. But I don't know, you can see the value that the Knight's gear has from the fight. See our teams just hitting them safely. And once he's pretty much done, you'll have to hit the seal twice. So as soon as you get a charge, you want to hit it. And then you want to go kill another chanter, hit it again, and it's over.